Let's be honest. Waiting is one of the hardest things for a human soul to endure. Not because we're impatient, but because we confuse silence with punishment, stillness with stagnation, delay with denial. The truth? Most of what transforms us happens in hidden seasons. Think about it like this. A seed doesn't sprout in the spotlight. It grows underground, where it's dark, where it's quiet, where no one claps. And you? You might be in your underground season right now, the one where you're showing up every day and nothing seems to change. You're doing the inner work, but the outer world looks the same. You're fighting battles that no one even sees. And still, there's progress. But here's the thing no one tells you about transformation. It doesn't feel magical when it's happening. It feels like exhaustion, confusion, silence. It feels like sitting in a room where all the doors are closed. But what if one of those doors is about to open, not just to something new, but through the person you're becoming? You asked to be stronger, and life brought you struggle. You asked for patience, and life gave you delay. You asked to be free, and life showed you what's been holding you back. That's the hidden language of growth. It doesn't respond with ease. It responds with expansion, stretching, breaking old identities, calling you deeper than comfort. You are being prepared, but prepared for what? For the life that your old habits couldn't sustain. For the relationship your past wounds would have ruined. For the opportunities that demand a grounded, wiser, more whole version of you. And no, you're not being punished. This isn't karma or failure or a cosmic delay. It's refining. It's stripping. It's clearing space. Because sometimes the very thing you want most can't enter your life until you become someone who can hold it with care. Let's pause for a moment. What if this season isn't meant to be escaped, but embraced? Not because it's easy, but because it's shaping the you that can actually receive what you've been asking for. The version of you that you're growing into. They're not reactive. They're not bitter. They're not rushing for validation. They're patient. They're rooted. They're becoming. And here's a quiet truth. Sometimes, God or life doesn't give us what we ask for until we become who we need to be to receive it. That's where the season comes in. This moment, the quiet, the discomfort, the unanswered questions, the dreams on hold. It's not wasted time. It's sacred ground. It's the workshop where your future self is being built. In silence, with care, and in ways you'll only understand when you look back and smile. Now, let's talk about the hardest part of this kind of season. It often looks like nothing is happening. You wake up, go through your routine, try to stay hopeful. But deep inside, there's that quiet ache. Why am I still here? Why haven't things moved forward? What am I missing? Here's something rarely said, but deeply true. Growth doesn't always look like elevation. Sometimes, growth looks like stillness, like enduring, like waking up again and showing up again, even when there's no applause. It's during these invisible days, when you're unseen, unheard, uncertain, that the roots grow deepest. Because if your life is going to expand upward, it first has to deepen downward. You can't hold the weight of everything you've asked for without a foundation that can carry it. And this is where that foundation is being built. Let's get even more real for a second. Preparation seasons are lonely, not because you don't have people around, but because it's an inner solitude. It's a chapter where you begin detaching from what no longer aligns. You start shedding identities, habits, relationships, not out of pride, but because they no longer match the person you're becoming. It's the silence between chapters, the stillness between breaths. You may not see it now, but every time you choose discipline over distraction, faith over fear, healing over hiding, you are building the infrastructure of the person who's capable of receiving what you've been praying for. And the truth is, you wouldn't recognize the gift if it arrived too early. You wouldn't be able to hold it. You might even sabotage it. Because the version of you before this season, as beautiful as they were, wasn't ready for the next level of life waiting ahead. Let's shift into something practical now. How do you move through a season like this with purpose, without burning out emotionally? Here are 3 quiet, grounded habits that don't require perfection, just presence. 1. Ritualize your mornings. Even if it's just 10 minutes. Before you scroll, before you speak, before you consume the noise of the world, sit with yourself. Maybe you journal one honest sentence. Maybe you breathe in silence. Maybe you pray. This isn't about productivity. It's about presence. Because if your inner world is cloudy, your outer direction will be too. 2. Redefine success during this season. If your definition of progress is always tied to visible achievement, you'll feel like a failure when life asks you to pause. Instead, ask, did I stay grounded today? Did I act from integrity? Did I choose what's true, even when it was hard? These are the real markers of growth, the kind that prepares you to hold what you've asked for. 3. Honor the grief that comes with growth. Yes, growth comes with grief. You're not just moving forward. You're saying goodbye to who you used to be, to versions of yourself that protected you, habits that comforted you, and even dreams that no longer align. Let yourself mourn without guilt. Let the tears come. Let the confusion exist. It's not weakness. It's release. Every goodbye makes space for something sacred to enter. And here's a truth you might not believe just yet. This season is not permanent. Yes, it feels long. Yes, it's tiring. Yes, it's stretching you in ways you never asked for. But it will shift, because all seasons do. And when it does, when the opportunity arrives, when the relationship aligns, when the moment meets your growth, you'll step into it with a quiet power that shocks even you. You'll know things. You'll see clearly. You'll be someone new, not because you forced it, but because you surrendered to the process that shaped you. And when that day comes, you'll look back at this season not with bitterness, but with gratitude. You'll realize this was not a detour. It was the preparation, the refining, the sacred setup for the life you're finally ready to live. You're still here, still listening, still breathing. And that means something. It means that even if nothing outside you has changed, something inside you has. You've been stretched. You've been pressed. You've been emptied, not to leave you hollow, but to make space for what's next. And this space? It's sacred, because space is where possibility is born. You asked for peace, and learned to let go of chaos. You asked for love, and learned to stop settling for crumbs. You asked for clarity, and walked through fog long enough to recognize your own light. None of that is wasted. None of that is random. Every chapter matters, especially the ones you never chose. But here's something even deeper. Sometimes, the season you're in isn't even about you. Sometimes it's about who you're becoming for someone else. For the people you'll one day help. For the story you'll one day tell. For the hand you'll one day hold and say, I've been there too. And I survived. Because what you're surviving now may be the bridge for someone else's breakthrough later. Your pain has purpose. Your waiting has weight. Your faith, even if it's cracked and weary, still counts. So what now? What do you do while the prayer hasn't been answered yet? You live, not in bitterness, not in resentment, but in readiness. You wake up, not just hoping, but preparing. Preparing emotionally, preparing mentally, preparing spiritually. You build the life that your answered prayer will land in, so that when it comes, you don't fumble it. You recognize it. You honor it. Because the truth is, sometimes we're waiting for things that are waiting for us to grow up emotionally, to learn self-control, to set boundaries, to heal patterns, to let go of ego, to stop running. And that growth, it happens in seasons like this one. Quiet, unseen, sacred. Let's slow down here. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you've been fighting for so long, and you're tired of hearing, just wait. That's okay. That's honest. You don't have to pretend to be strong all the time. But also, don't forget this. You have survived every version of your life so far. Every disappointment, every delay, every breakdown you thought would end you. And here you are, still becoming, still unfolding. Maybe not fast, maybe not loud, but real. And that's enough. So as you move forward from this video, do it with a new kind of posture. Not of desperation, not of impatience, but of quiet trust. Because when you finally walk into the life you prayed for, you'll realize something powerful. You didn't wait for it. You grew into it. And in that growth, you became someone you never imagined. Someone wiser, someone gentler, someone whole. So breathe, trust the process, and walk forward with this truth. The season you're in is not a punishment. It's preparation. And the life you prayed for is on the other side of your becoming.